It was a day that began with silence and stillness, but the air over Kansas was charged with energy, the kind only meteorologists and seasoned storm chasers recognize. On the early morning of June 17th, 2025, that energy exploded into one of the most significant severe weather outbreaks to sweep across the Central Plains this year. Around 4:22 in the morning, Wichita, Kansas, was rocked by a powerful storm cell that unleashed a wind gust recorded at 101 miles per hour at Dwight D. Eisenhower National Airport. The blast of wind, comparable to a Category 2 hurricane, marked the beginning of a day that would see not just isolated events, but a cascading wave of extreme weather that stretched from Colorado to Oklahoma. The damage was immediate. As daylight began to break, utility crews rushed to respond to widespread power outages. More than 45,000 homes and businesses across Wichita and surrounding communities lost electricity. Some areas experienced complete blackouts. Downed power lines sparked in puddles formed by heavy rainfall. Roof shingles were torn from homes, tree limbs were hurled into streets, and debris was scattered across parking lots and roadways. Local footage captured the eerie scene. Darkened skies well after sunrise, heavy sheets of rain beating against storefronts, and flashes of near-constant lightning illuminating streets like a strobe light. One widely circulated video showed an employee inside his car, outside a business in Wichita, waiting for the rain to subside. The downpour was relentless. In some areas, rainfall rates reached levels capable of causing flash flooding in under 30 minutes. But the danger did not pass with the morning storm. Throughout the afternoon, new storm cells began developing rapidly along a frontal boundary stretching across Kansas. With the atmosphere primed by early morning convection, daytime heating only intensified instability across the region. By midday, severe thunderstorms were erupting throughout central and north-central Kansas. Wind gusts of 91 miles per hour were recorded in Tescott. 3 miles east of Hutchinson, gusts approached 89 miles per hour. 1 mile northwest of McPherson, gusts of 80 miles per hour brought similar scenes of tree and structural damage. Across these communities, power poles snapped, outbuildings were overturned, and sheet metal from barns and commercial roofs was wrapped around fences and highway signs. While Kansas bore the brunt of the wind threat, large hail became another significant hazard. In Conway Springs, hailstones the size of baseballs battered vehicles, roofs, and even broke through skylights. Many residents were caught off guard by the hail's sudden appearance. Emergency calls flooded local dispatch centers with reports of broken windows, damaged windshields, and people seeking shelter in basements and stairwells. To the northwest, Laramie, Wyoming, reported hail measuring 2 inches in diameter. In Platteville, Colorado, a 2 1/4 inch hailstone was confirmed by the National Weather Service. These hailstones were large enough to cause injury, shatter glass, and devastate unprotected crops. In Oklahoma, particularly in the town of Pawhuska, thunderstorms brought intense rain and dramatic lightning strikes. Video from the area captured brilliant bursts of lightning, followed by immediate thunder, suggesting lightning strikes were occurring very close to ground level. Rainfall in Pawhuska was so heavy that visibility dropped to near zero, even during daylight hours. As the afternoon wore on, forecasters issued updated warnings and alerts. A flash flood watch was in effect for Topeka and several nearby counties, expected to remain in place through the afternoon of June 18th. The concern was not just for standing water, but for the potential of fast-moving floodwaters, especially in areas with clogged drainage systems or low-lying terrain. By evening, the National Weather Service had placed a large section of Kansas under an enhanced risk for severe weather. This included cities such as Topeka, Lawrence, Manhattan, Emporia, and Olathe. However, a more serious moderate risk designation was applied to a core zone encompassing Wichita, Hutchinson, Newton, Great Bend, and McPherson. The moderate risk reflected the high probability of more damaging wind gusts, large hail, flash flooding, and even isolated tornadoes.
Ooh, drink to that. Drink to the hail.
Tornado warnings and hail in Minnesota.
Radar imagery at this time painted a vivid picture of chaos. Supercell storms with rotating updrafts began to appear more frequently, signaling a shift in the storm structure from linear wind damage to potentially tornadic conditions. Fortunately, by late evening, no tornadoes had yet been confirmed in Kansas, but the environment remained highly volatile. Meteorologists warned that any storm could rapidly intensify into a tornadic cell.
I can't believe the amount, well, I've been through this before, so it's not new to me. Oh my God. I'm gonna have to move. I can't get my car out of the driveway because it's seriously like 2 feet down there. So I'm just gonna tuck it as close to the garage as I can.
The storms were fed by a classic clash of air masses. From the south, warm, humid air surged into the region, while cooler, drier air descended from the north and west. The convergence of these air masses created strong lift, and the slow movement of the front allowed storms to train repeatedly over the same locations, heightening the flash flood risk. Emergency responders in multiple counties were stretched thin. In some cases, crews could not access downed power lines or blocked roads until the lightning subsided. Shelters were opened in Sedgwick County and other impacted regions to accommodate families without power or whose homes had sustained damage. The Red Cross and local volunteer organizations mobilized quickly, delivering bottled water, first aid supplies, and portable chargers to residents who had lost connectivity. Meanwhile, air traffic was affected as well. Although no major flight cancellations were initially reported, the Federal Aviation Administration placed airspace over much of Kansas under heightened advisory. Pilots flying at cruising altitude had to reroute around towering storm clouds that reached over 50,000 feet into the atmosphere. Volcanic ash is not the only hazard to aircraft. Large hail and extreme turbulence within these storm systems can also pose serious danger to commercial flights. As night fell, the storms did not ease. Instead, new cells continued to develop along the same boundary. Satellite data revealed high reflectivity signatures, indicating dense precipitation and large hail cores. The lightning remained nearly continuous, with cloud-to-ground strikes reported every few seconds in some areas. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.